Hey guys, we are back with another Super 7 Masters of the Universe Club Grayskull review. We're taking a look today at Roboto. So another fan favorite heavy hitter type of figure for this final wave. We've got him here in the standard Club Grayskull packaging. So FILMATION, Castle Grayskull, you've got the jaw bridge, and then the back has got the He-Man logo. Of course, this is a slipcover, so pop it off. You've got the figure there in the big window, windows on the side, windows on the top, and then the back has some new FILMATION artwork with a bio for our robotic friend here. So let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our Roboto figure. So this guy is something that I've really been looking forward to because frankly, I just like the FILMATION design for Roboto. It's a really goofy, weird, wacky, very generic sci-fi alien robot kind of design, but he also has, of course, a really unique style of chest. So I've really been excited to take a look at this figure. So let's see what he can do, see how he moves around. He's going to be pretty standard except for maybe one thing. So you've got a head here that can look up a little bit. He can't really look down too much, and then you've got rotation side to side. Nothing too crazy there, nothing really missing. He's got arms that go all the way out of the shoulder. They rotate at the shoulder. You've got your bicep swivel. We've got your single jointed elbows, rotation, and hinge at the left wrist. The right wrist is just going to be rotation though, because of course, he's got the swappable hands. You've got a waist twist down there. This is different from the original Classics Roboto because that one triggered the gears inside. This one does not have that. Your legs go out pretty much all the way. They kick forward, but only a little bit. You have to twist them if you want them to go any further than that, and that looks wonky. They go backwards a little bit. You've got your thigh cut, single jointed knee, and then of course you've got rocker, and you've got hinges down at those ankles. So pretty standard stuff. Not really anything too crazy as far as missing or gaining anything extra. If anything, the only real difference on this guy that is glaring is of course the fact that he has no ab crunch, but of course, where would you put it? Really, though, it's all about the looks here. I've wanted this figure because of what he looks like, because of just the goofy, cartoony nature of this character. I think they translated this thing into figure form pretty well. He is fairly basic as far as, say, everything outside of his chest goes. So you've got molded plastic for the arms, and then you've got molded plastic for his thighs, and then for his boots down here, this is painted, and then you've got painted inlays here to kind of give it a different finish look, and I think it works pretty well. The wrist and hand are, of course, painted also. The big thing is that he's got the definitely different style of hand, so he's got the claw on it out of the box. We'll talk about the others in a second. And then, of course, the big thing is that he's got a clear, transparent chest, and I think it looks so cool. I've always said that I'm a big fan of translucent plastic on a figure, and this is just cool. It's different, it's fun, it's weird, it's goofy, it's very FILMATION He-Man stuff too. A big robot dude with gears in his chest, that's just ridiculous. And it works surprisingly well. There's nothing that moves on the inside of this. I mean, I suppose they could potentially, but there's no way to actually move them. They don't do anything. At least as far as I can tell, there's no way to move those in there. And you've got a green gear, two blues, and then you've got a red. And they do look really cool. I mean, that's really all it comes down to, is it looks cool, it's different, and it's implemented pretty well. There were, of course, problems with the original Roboto Classics figure with the torso cracking and stuff like that. I do think that mine, I'll have to pull them down when we do a comparison, I do think that mine, of course, has a few cracks, but I never had any problems with him actually outright breaking. Watch me break him on camera, that'll be fun. But this one seems to be pretty robust. I've had no real concern with it. The only thing that might pop up is it's probably going to be a fingerprint magnet. Otherwise, though, I think it looks really cool, and it's something fun and goofy that will definitely stand out on a shelf. Of course, topping off this figure is the head sculpt, and there's really not a lot to say here because it's just a generic robot-y head sculpt. There's not too much to it. It's a very generic robot design, but it works. It definitely flows with the cartoony nature, with the goofy nature of it, because it's a big, like almost trash can on his head with a blue line and then kind of like a mouth guard from a football helmet on for what would be his mouth. So we've got some red, some blue, and some gray. It's simplistic. It's not very detailed, but it's what it's supposed to be, and I think it looks pretty good. They did a solid job here. Now, as far as accessories goes, it's obvious what it's going to be here. So he's got his shtick of being able to change out the weapon on his hand. You start off with the claw here, and it just pops off. And then you can put the gun attachment on, or you've also got the axe. Both of them are done up really simple sculpt. they're only done up in the actual just solid gray color that they would appear with in the show, but they work really well. I had some issues kind of taking them off and putting them on for the first time. Everything was really tight, but afterwards I've had no real issues, and I'm probably going to leave the gun on anyway for the long term, but I'm really glad we do have these options, and I think they gave us exactly what we needed with this figure. Now, of course, we have to do a comparison here, and one thing that might not be so apparent, but is really apparent once you get them next to each other, is just how big this new figure is. He's quite a bit larger than our Classics Roboto. There is just a lot of size going on here. This guy, of course, has a lot of reuse from Trapjaw. This guy does not really. He doesn't have the same legs or anything like that. It's different. They didn't have to go that route for this particular figure, but they're just a very different look. This one is far more detailed, and he's a good figure, but I've always felt there was something a little bit over sculpted on this guy. This one is just exactly what I want him to be. They're both great figures in their own right, but something about this particular figure, again, it's the wackiness, the weirdness, the very goofy Filmation look. It just really works for me. So 2 different versions of the same character in, well, 2 different sides of the same line. So overall, I'm pretty happy here. I'd say we have a really solid Filmation Roboto figure. I said it right out of the gate that I like this design for this character, and I think it translated to figure form really well. Colors are good, everything's really crisp and clean and solid and bright and vibrant. Of course, the big, clear, translucent chest with the gears is definitely an eye catcher, and it really looks good. It very much pops, it stands out on a shelf, and he's just a fun looking figure. That's really what it comes down to. He's a heavy hitter, he's a fun looking toy, and it works well. I have really no gripes on this one. I'm glad to add him to the shelf. So that's going to do it for this look at the Super 7 Masters of the Universe Club Grayskull Roboto. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.